until now?
Well, so on Saturday, Confanoche, prior to Saturday, the Confanoche Doctors Association, they have released a statement stating that they were going to embark on industrial action because of a letter that was written to the board of directors to suspend the Confanoche Teaching Hospital CEO. Of course, the reason for all these developments is something that is not new to all of us who have been following this particular development. So on Saturday, the strike was in full swing. I visited the Accident and Emergency Center, which has become the epicenter as far as this Buhaha is concerned. Of course, other departments of Confanoche Teaching Hospital, where ordinarily, you see some level of activities as far as the medical doctor's operation in that particular facility is concerned. And I reported that on Saturday, they were only taking critical cases and critical emergency cases. Any other emergency cases were not accepted at the Accident Emergency Center, for instance. And of course, for the other OPDs, there was a total withdrawal of service. So that is what has been happening since Saturday. Yesterday, the regional minister, who is also the head of the Regional Security Council, met the leadership of Confanoche Doctors Association in a crunch meeting at the Accident Emergency Center. It was a closed-door meeting, but right after that meeting, he engaged a section of the media and briefed the media about what transpired there. Of course, he said that they were able to advance on positive levels, and hopefully today the leadership of Confanoche Teaching Hospital Doctor Association is expected to come out and then issue another statement calling off the industrial action, and exactly what we are all looking forward to. But this morning, as of 6 a.m., I can report to you that there hasn't been any change so far. I've spoken to a couple of doctors on phone, even though they will neither say they are going to continue the strike, nor they are going to write any letter or support leadership in writing a letter to calling off the industrial action. So we are still waiting. It looks like the ball is in the court of the leadership of the Confanoche Doctors Association, who were involved in that crunch meeting with the regional minister. So we're still hoping the day is still young. Maybe by 12, we should be able to see where they are chatting as far as past is concerned. Crosby.
At what point do the nurses come in?
Well, the nurses, even though they served notice of joining the strike, but I can tell you that as of this morning, or as of 6 a.m., they were still at post working, especially at the triage, the pre-triage area and the triage area, where, which is the first port of call for any emergency case brought to the Accident Emergency Center. The triage nurses were there, a couple of them, even though usually you're supposed to see a good number of them, but just a handful of them, but they were still around, an indication that they haven't joined the industrial action yet.
That's good to know. But talk to us about the impact of what is going on at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital, for instance. We know that it's a referral hospital serving close to 9 regions in the country. How important is the facility, specifically the accident and emergency unit?
Well, maybe you have been magnanimous. The reality is that it's 7/9, because in the northern sector, we are talking about 10 regions, including Ashanti region. And Confanoche Teaching Hospital has been the main referral center for these regions. I mean, if you go to the facility, you're likely to meet patients coming from the Upper West down to the Ashanti region. So it tells you how important this facility is to millions of people living within the northern sector belt. Now, it is very crucial, a critical time as far as the facility is concerned. And then looking at the numbers, of course, it is not far from right. Public sentiment, section of the public sentiment to the fact that the Afari Military Hospital and that of Syria Regional Hospital should work on these facilities should be accelerated so that they can also come into the mainstream to ease pressure at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital. But it looks like there's some hint of hope. Considering what the regional minister said, that is retooling the Syria Regional Hospital, which funnily, some time ago was commissioned, but you all know that it wasn't ready. Retooling that particular hospital and also making it available to serve, the public. And of course, he also said that plans are far advanced, or measures are far advanced to also commissioning the Afari Military Hospital. So you will say that there's some level of oxygen as far as the current situation is concerned. So we are just hoping, and of course, a good number of people in the Ashanti region are only hoping to see these hospitals also come into the mainstream to also support Confanochi Teaching Hospital. And of course, if you look at the doctor's statement 1, statement 2, they mentioned as one of the reasons why they were embarking on the industrial action.
I see. Evans, thank you so much for the update. We're grateful.
Grateful.
William Evans Inkum is a Northern Bureau Chief telling us all we need to know about the latest happening at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital in the Ashanti region there. George Ayisi is former head of communications at NADMO and currently an MPP communications team member. Mr. Ayisi, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good morning, Noble.
I haven't spoken with you in a very, very long time.
Yes, I talk for my one corner.
How's it been, though? How's everything?
By grace, we're doing well. We are kicking in and we are doing our opposition work.
And that's what we expect of you.
Yeah, citizens, good citizens in opposition. We need to keep government on its toes.
Yes. True. I'm sure you've been following on the happenings at the Confanochi Teaching Hospital.
Yeah.
It's disturbing. We know how important the facility is. And like Evans put, very crucial. Right. Lot of regions, over 9 regions, rely heavily on the hospital, and a unit like the accident and emergency care unit of the hospital, something like this is happening. Is it a question of patient safety or political power? What do you think?
Yeah, thank you. Let me say good morning to your listeners and viewers since we are on the internet, and let me greet you and your production crew. Well, we can focus more on the unfortunate political gymnastics that is being played along by our good brother, Minister of Health, Kobna Minta-Akando. It's unfortunate. He's one nice man, I know, and unfortunately he's been too abrasive as a minister, and the way he's handling things at the health sector doesn't seem to be too comforting to some of us. Issues of beds, and I've been to the Confanochi Hospital under an emergency situation during the campaign, our primaries. When we got to Kumasi, I had some serious infections, and immediately I had to be referred there. Okay. So when I got there, they attended to me very well. I appreciate them. But I saw things there that I wasn't happy about as a politician. Some motor accident victims, somebody butchered and lying there over 30 minutes. Lying there, nobody's attended to the person. I said, what is going on? Emergency unit in the night. You get it? So it tells you the critical nature of that facility in that sector. So when I got this issue of saying because the chief administrator of the hospital says bed issues, so we should hold on with more admissions and co. And because of that, there's a standing order that the president has said that yes, the president's calling is good, but there are people who have been tasked to manage the facility. You get it? How can they manage it for the betterment of patients and the community and the people at large? You get it? Because you are in charge. You are sitting behind the microphone here. You get it? So you are tasked by your administrator to raise the right questions and then put us in check to be within what is right. You get it? That is your duty. And so that's the duty of the chief executive, to ensure that we run the facility efficiently for the betterment of patients, okay? Unfortunately, bed syndrome and co, and we have made the argument, minorities made the argument, Noble, that there are other hospitals that are closer to the Asante Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital that we mentioned, Kokobe Hospital, Agenda 111, almost complete. You need just to operationalize it in a curriculum. And of course, we have the Trader one, which is also Agenda 111, just needs to be operationalized. And of course, the regional one, the Siwa, your reporter mentioned it, and the Aferi one. These ones are all on standby, just operationalize them. You get it? Action, they can take off some of the pressure from
the
Komfo-Anokye. You get it? People want to be in Komfo-Anokye for whatever reason, yes. But once these ones are operating, when you refer them there, they will go there. Because of the situation I told you, emergency, people were lying there, blood oozing, and nobody is attending to them for more than 30 minutes. I'm not making it up. I was there in the hospital, okay, in the night. So in situations like this, when people begin to play political something, then there's a problem. I thought our brother Akando should look at it well. As we speak, I stand to be corrected, a section of practitioners are on strike, right?
Yes.
That's according to the report.
Yeah.
Yes, so the doctors, I understand. If that is the case, it's going to even worsen the case. You get it? In the place, and we all don't want this. People may be referred from Bolgatanga, from Tamale, and go to Komfo-Anokye. You get it? And they get there, and doctors are not working. You can imagine the situation for patients. I think it's time His Excellency the President weighs into this matter.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. You know, it's his directive, okay, that has created this problem. I think immediately we should suspend the suspension of the
CEO.
The CEO. We should suspend that suspension. Call him back, get the doctors to a meeting to resolve this matter and see how we can work on no bed syndrome. It's a critical issue.
So you think it's a broader concern, not just limiting it to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital?
Suspending the CEO, no.
Does not solve anything.
Has it brought additional beds to Komfo-Anokye?
No, it has not.
It has not. It has not. Allow him to do his work and find ways to resolve the matter. You get it? So that efficiency will be brought to bear at the management level at the hospital. You get it? So the patients referred there will get what they want. It's painful when you are referred to, you go to a hospital and you're sitting there and they're not attending to you and the situation is getting worse. Okay? So I'll plead with my brother, the Honorable Akando. He's one fine guy I love. But I think his management style at the hospital, health sector, is not gelling well with me.
With this, are you limiting it to the recent happening at the Komfo-Anokye, or you think
the Tamale issue?
So in general,
I see. He's been too abrasive. You get it? And I don't think it's good for the management of that sector. He's a calm person with calm demeanor, very nice person, affable person. You get it? But he's been too aggressive and, you know, taking no, I'm not taking any nonsense in the health sector. It doesn't work that way. Doctors are a group of people that if you don't handle them well, with care, there will be problems on our hands. When there's problem, when all of us are going to bear the brunt. So I'm pleading with His Excellency to call Honorable Akando, the Minister of Health, and his team together and sit down with the Doctors Association and resolve this matter, especially at Komfo-Anokye, and then other hospitals across the country, because we had a situation in Tamale teaching hospital. There's another one. I think, is it where there was a third one?
Yes. Something happened at Ridge too as well.
Yes, good. Just close to us, Ridge Hospital. So these ones, and his responses were not too good.
Okay.
Akando's responses were not. So, President, Your Excellency, call your darling boy to order, and let's resolve these once and for all going forward, so that by close of today we can all hear that Konfanochi issue has been resolved. The minority is calling on government to do that immediately, because it's not resolved. Suspending them hasn't brought additional bed there. You get it. Operationalize the adjoining hospitals that we've mentioned.
That is what that matters.
Trede, Kokobe, Sewa, Aferi. Get them operationalized. Then they will take off some of the burden from Konfanochi, and then we make progress in the region.
Zaisi, thank you. Sam Jerome, good morning to you. Sam Jerome is Director of Public Affairs, Cocoa Board, and National Communications Officer of Cocoa Board. It's good to see you, sir. Welcome.
National Communication Officer of Cocoa Board.
That's what we have.
Yeah, National Communication Team Member.
National Communication Team Member of the NDC. Good to have you, Sam. Welcome.
Thank you.
How's your morning been?
Well, it just started. Yeah. So we are hoping for the best.
No, I didn't know he was in the Cocoa Board. He's from the Cocoa Zone, so he's a good appropriate one.
How are the flats treating you?
Well, it's quite unfortunate seeing some of the videos, going around. It's very, very pathetic, especially when you hear report or sentiment from, young guys and ladies who have invested, almost everything that they have, in renting an apartment, and they are experiencing some of these issues. It's quite serious and very pathetic. In fact, I share in their sentiment. Fortunately for me, I have not experienced same, but that is not to say that we don't feel for others.
Right.
This also brings to the fore that we need to be very proactive and ensure that the laws work with the district and municipal or metropolitan assemblies. We need
at whichever level.
At whichever level, we shouldn't be reactive to some of these things, because these are the responsibilities of people who are being paid at the end of every month, and they leave it, or they are unconcerned, or for whatever reasons. We annually experience some of this. It's quite sad. It's quite sad.
We'll talk more about the flats later, but we're starting from the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and Mr. Yisi is not very happy with the conduct of the health minister.
Okay.
Well, here's his general observation, but limiting it to what is happening at KATH. People are roasting him over his reaction, suspending the CEO. They say that it does not solve anything.
Well, if I may know your name.
Noble.
Okay. Good morning to you.
Crosby, Sean.
Noble, good morning to you.
Good morning.
My big brother, Mr. AEC. And also to all your listeners and viewers across the globe. Look, we are all entitled to our opinion. All right? We are all entitled to our opinion. But I can say in all certainty that people who kind of are roasting the health minister do not appreciate the issues. Let me give you a typical example. I think last 2 years or so, yes, if my memory serves me right, the honorable minister then in opposition was rushed to the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital because he was involved in an accident coming from Seshi also. Coming from his constituency, actually. If you heard same, he was involved in an accident and he was rushed to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. So somebody who has had this personal experience, now having to think about what is happening to somebody who also finds him or herself in similar situation, but the person has been asked to go home. Go where? That is a question we need to ask ourselves. That somebody who is in a critical situation, who has been rushed to a hospital, a teaching hospital like Konfanochi, and the person is being asked to go home. Where? Where is the person going to? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. Number two, whoever that is being referred to Konfanochi it is not for the fun of it.
True.
It is either the person is in a critical situation, the person is unable to afford other alternative health care, as in being a private health care. Hence, that is the only hope that the person has. But here is the case, that because of no bed syndrome, the person is being driven away to go and do what? To go and die, obviously. Because if you are being driven away and you are not able to afford in other alternative health facilities, i.e. the private hospitals, then you are going to die. Let me be very candid with you. It is quite unfortunate I have to look directly to the face of Mr. EC and tell him that the MPP in this instant, they are being not fair. I just want to be very careful with the choice of words. They are not being very fair. Look, go back to 24th of November 2017. As 24th of November 2017.
Okay.
When we implemented the free SHS, some of the criticism that came was that, look, the wholesale implementation of this free SHS has created congestion. The response that came from the Deputy Minister, the Honorable Yao Educhum, was that it is better for the kids to even learn under trees than to be home or on the street. What is this telling you? This is telling you that, look, if you say education is even expensive, you try ignorance. So if these people are left to be on the street, the consequence is very dire as compared to they finding themselves even learning under trees. But today, we are talking about the lives of people, patients who are in critical situation, and you are saying that they should be driven away because there are no beds. Now, the question you ask yourself is that if a patient is on the floor and is being treated, does that situation render the health provider incapable or inexperienced or disqualified from executing his professional mandate as a nurse or a medical doctor? These are pertinent questions that we need to ask ourselves. Noble, for instance, you seated here, if you should go to kind of a substandard station, all right, a station, that will not disqualify you or that will not render you incapable of discharging your trained duty as a journalist. No. So if we reduce this whole conversation to the no bed syndrome, then we are likening it to be like it has also rendered the service providers incapable.
But Jerome, so if we're talking, it may not be entirely about the beds. The beds is maybe how we refer to it, but we're talking about the people who are taking care of the patient on the beds. We understand that this is a facility designed to accommodate 37 people.
Okay.
So it means that the staff strength is in agreement with what is expected
are you
there.
Engaged in hypothesis or
no, that's not what we are doing here. That's
no, what I'm saying that
37 people. That's what they should take care of.
No. That is your opinion.
No, I'm not talking opinion here.
No, hold on. You are saying that the facility originally was to accommodate 37 people.
Yes, at a time.
At a time.
Yes.
So based on that, it is synonymous to the staff strength.
Yes.
There. Hold on. And that is why I said that you are engaging in hypothesis because you cannot. There is no fact or evidence to back the claim that you are making this morning. And that is what I'm suggesting to you. There is no fact.
And what I'm also saying is that when these facilities are put up and requirement or specifications are made, they are made in tandem with the requirements, infrastructure, beds, oxygen cylinders, mask, gloves, everything works in tandem with what the facility is supposed to do at that particular time.
Let's do this simple exercise. Media General, have you inquired how many personnel they ought to have employed, all right, at the beginning of the establishment of this organization? Have you inquired? But as time goes on, we've had expansion, isn't it?
Yes. So when you expand, yes, make your point.
We've had expansion and all that. What I'm saying is that, or what I'm suggesting to you is that, even though there have been reports, which is right, that the facility originally was to accommodate some 37 people, all right, which is right, nobody is disputing that. But you cannot say as a fact that it's synonymous to the number of staff.
How about other resources?
Hold on, who are to work there? Other resources, we are talking about gloves and all that. Have you read any reports suggesting, say,
oxygen cylinders, beds?
Have you read any reports suggesting that there are no oxygen?
I'm coming, Jerome. I'm coming.
Hold on.
How is a facility?
The fact that there's an issue does not mean that we should impugn or suggest other issues which are not related.
I get what you're saying, but how is a facility that is designed to take care of 37 people at a time?
Okay.
How is that facility?
Okay.
Can't you arrive at a conclusion? Can't you make this logical deduction that it means the resources there are fit for that particular number?
No, that is, you see, what you are saying to be logic might not be logic after all. What you are saying, that is why I say that it is an exclusive hypothesis you are making. All right? Synonymous to you. Okay, you cannot suggest that it is in a generic form. No. Unless we read a contrary report suggesting that your proposition is actually the case. But if that isn't the case, then we need to stick to what is happening, as in no bed syndrome. All right? And with the no bed syndrome, we are talking about the quality of services which ought to be provided.
Yeah.
But that is what I'm saying, that if there are no beds, people are sitting in chairs receiving drips and all that. It does not render the doctor incapable of executing his duty.
Okay.
It does not render the nurse unqualified in executing his professional duty. And more so, anybody roasting the Honorable Akando, I have said up an issue that the person does not understand the various issues. Look, we are practicing an executive presidency. The minister is drawing his powers from the president. Is that not the case? Same as the chief executive. The chief executive at Confanoche is even answerable and responsible to the director of Ghana Health Service, as well as the Minister of Health. So administratively, you ask yourself if the Honorable Akando has erred administratively. If he has erred. He has not erred administratively. And what are the reasons assigned to the suspension that has been given? And I'm not sure suspension is same as dismissal.
True.
All right.
But Jerome, how about a few steps back?
So if the president after the demise of Emisa, you remember that guy?
Yeah.
Emisa.
Charles Emisa.
After the demise of Charles Emisa, the president in Parliament posited clearly that never should it happen again. Because if you are not affected, you would not appreciate what is that. Because a life lost can never be what? Can never be reclaimed. A life lost can never be reclaimed. So if somebody today, if Mr. AEC, unfortunately, if he's being found in a very critical situation, he's been taken to 37 or he's been taken to Kolebu, and then we tell Jerome that, Jerome, take your patient away because there are no bed. And I know that within some few minutes, I am going to lose a brother. I'm going to lose a brother.
I get.
Meanwhile, they could have even made provision, or they could have even told me that, Jerome, take off your jacket, put it on the floor, let your patient lie on, let us give him first aid, or stabilize the situation. All right, or stabilize the situation. Thereafter, you take him to more comfortable place for onward treatment. What is wrong with that? Than to send the person away. And that is what we are talking about. That is the angle the honorable minister is coming from. And he is also enjoined by the words of his appointer. In this case, the president. So what do you want the person to say or the person to do? The person should look on for one people to die, and also to flout the directive of what? Of his appointer. I mean, we should know better.
This unit was designed for about 37 patients, and at the time of the crisis, it was handling 61 admitted patients. with 40 more awaiting treatment. So we're looking at a number of 100.
Okay.
So this means that a center that was originally built for 37 was dealing with over 100 patients either admitted or waiting. And the management said the halt was to allow staff to manage the backlog. It means they had gone over and above themselves and they needed to manage the backlog, ease the congestion, and then, most importantly, improve patient care. So the intention, that's why I wanted to take a step back. If you want to understand it from the CEO's perspective, what wrong did he do?
So hold on. The CEO is not acting in vacuum, or he didn't appoint himself.
Yes, we know that.
So at least, even if you are not going to resort to the minister, you could have made contact to the Director General of Ghana Health Service. That this is the situation I'm confronted with. All right. Now, looking at the challenge, I'm facing two challenges. One, the space to accommodate them, and then two, staff strength. All right, staff strength. And if it is about staff strength, they could have mobilized. All right, they could have made provisions for that. That okay, if it is about staff strength, let us push some nurses there, or let's provide you with some nurses who can help contain the situation for now, once we look into the future to expanding the facility that we have there. But that is not to suggest that, because look.
So you think there are other alternatives you could have adopted?
Of course, people coming from Seshi also, all right, in the Western North. So having referral from the Western North obviously comes to Komfo-Anokye. Referrals from the Bono Enclave comes to Komfo-Anokye. Referrals even from the northern part sometimes comes to Komfo-Anokye. Okay, and all that. So if these people are coming or are being referred in the view that they are going to receive emergency health care, they get there and they are being turned away. My question is, where are they to go? Where are they to go? Yes, in as much as you have pressure, we have to try and improvise, make room.
But you think they did not do that?
Look, I read or I quoted a publication that happened in 24th of November 2017. Okay, that when critics had given their opinion in relation to the congestion we were experiencing as a result of the wholesale implementation of the free SHS, the response we had was that it is better for these kids to even study under trees. Now tell me, is it appropriate for students, for people to be studying under trees? Is it appropriate? Is it a good thing?
So
why is that?
You're comparing apples.
Hold on.
Mr. Isi, hold on. Well, it appears that we're spending a lot of time on.
Why is that appropriate? Why is that one appropriate?
So when the MPP gave that response, you were not.
Don't you get immunized or injections even at your workplace?
We do that.
I mean, so what are you saying?
So when the MPP gave the response that it is better for the children to stand under trees, the NDC was not happy, were they?
Is that we're not happy?
Yes.
What could we have done?
But it was not a response you expected.
Of course, we didn't expect it. That was the response given.
Okay. So
all right. And this is about saving lives. Okay. This is about saving lives. And I'm happy that you cannot compare apple and then oranges. Okay. We are talking about lives.
Even when
you are talking about lives.
Even when at a point where the facility, based on the share numbers, cannot guarantee quality care to save lives.
So what are we saying now? So what is the arguments now? So the arguments, hold on. So now the argument right now is that we are talking about a certain chief executive who, based on a directive he has given, contrary to what the president has said, has been asked to be on suspension for a specified period. Comparing that to the lives that are being lost. That is the argument we are putting across.
That's not the argument. The argument we're putting across is that there is a core problem that should be dealt with. The hospital did not say we are rejecting treatment. If this room, for instance, Jeremy, if this room is full, no space, if this room is holding maybe 700 people, no
Hospital is
space.
overwhelmed. If you see an
And then
overwhelmed-
other people are coming into the same room. How are we going to work in the room? That is what the CEO is talking about. He said that, hold on,
I've heard.
go to other places. No, I'm not asking you to hold on. The CEO is telling you that, hold on, go to other places. Let us deal with what we have here.
Did the CEO name the other places?
Yes, he told them that they should visit other facilities.
Which facilities? Which
But there are other general facilities around the Ashanti region.
Tell me. You said the CEO said, so quote the CEO. Which adjoining facilities did the CEO
Let me read this message
Read.
to you. The hospital had a serious meeting with relevant health facilities in the Ashanti region to help redirect patients so they get the care they need.
Is this after they have made their directive? This is after they have made their directive, isn't it?
This is before they made the directive.
So tell me the adjoining hospitals, and let me say something to you. Which hospital in Kumasi
Yes.
or Ashanti region has the facilities that Komfanoche has?
And on that question, my answer to you would be that the hospital, although gave this directive, and this is a report that the correspondent in the Ashanti region, William Evans Inkum, gave. There were cases that, based on the gravity or the severity, although the hospital was still overpressed because of the point you're raising, the facilities and the skills they have, they thought and they knew that this is something we are best to deal with. So they still accepted. So clearly indicating that this is not a facility or this is not a CEO who intended or whose intention is to drive patients away.
You see, the whole argument or the whole conversation shouldn't center on the CEO or the minister.
No, that's not it.
Hold on. Now, based on the last comment or statement that you made, all right, that is why I'm coming in to say that. So the argument shouldn't be limited to the CEO or the health minister, all right? But let us look into the matter critically. What is the position of the minister? The position of the minister is that there shouldn't be any life lost.
True.
Because of what? No bed
Makes
syndrome.
sense. Makes sense a lot.
Isn't that the case?
Yeah.
And that is in tandem with an earlier proposition made by the president. Okay. Again, it should be established that in as much as you have a chief executive who is manning Komfanoche, the person is not a power to himself. So if you are to take any administrative decision which you think is beyond you, you need to resort to your authorities. And in this instant, your immediate authority is the Director General of Ghana Health Service.
Okay.
All right? Who also reports to the minister. So we find out if the chief executive resorted to this authority, and if he did, then you can even argue. That maybe the minister did not act right. But if you have the absence of these processes, then the chief executive has arrogated to himself a certain power he is not He's not having. Okay? More so when we have the lives of individuals, all right, at stake. When we have the lives of individuals at stake. So I wholly appreciate to an extent that we need to do more to equip our various hospitals, starting
Right.
from the district hospitals right up to, the teaching hospitals and all that. But this shouldn't be a reason for which we should be driving people who already are in a worrisome situation.
Away or to other
right?
places.
To other places.
Makes sense.
And I'm telling you that if there are other alternatives in the Ashanti region better than Komfanoche, affordable than Komfanoche, then you are making sense. So you should also put into consideration that those people come in. If you are to direct them to even one of the best private hospitals in the Ashanti region, are they going to be able to afford? Because it is sometimes not about the accessibility alone, but it is about the affordability as well. As well. So if they can be directed to a very good private hospital and they cannot afford, they are going to die anyways. And that is the situation the minister wants to avert.
I see.
That's the situation the minister wants to avert. So yes, we can have a conversation, deal with the issues of what? Infrastructure deficit in our various hospitals. That I agree. That I wholly agree. That we need to do more to improve, the services, the equipment needed, the staff, and what have you. I think every reasonable or sane individual will make same argument. But when somebody is already in pain, when somebody is in a critical situation, Noble, if you are in that situation, that is where you would appreciate what the minister or the president said is actually the way to what? The way to go. But this is also not to suggest that when we have the opportunity to expand infrastructure, we shouldn't do same.
I see.
That isn't the bane of my argument.
I get it.
That is not what I'm saying.
I get you.
All right? But in summary, what I'm saying is that administratively, the minister hasn't erred. If we are to say somebody has even erred, not to pass judgment, then it could be the chief executive. If there is no evidence of resorting to his authorities or superior in this instant, okay, the minister also was implementing directive being given by his appointor, i.e. the president. So we should look at it in that manner and discuss it devoid of sentiment or devoid of, affinity.
Yes, Mr. AC.
Graphic online.
Please get closer to the microphone.
Yes, he says capacity is not an administrative detail. Let me read something small. One of the recurring misconceptions in public discourse is the belief that a hospital can indefinitely absorb increasing numbers of patients without consequences. This assumption is inconsistent with both operational reality and healthcare science. Every emergency department possesses finite resources.
True.
Beds, personnel, equipment, physical space, medication, oxygen supplies, laboratory support, imaging capacity, and critical care capabilities. These are real.
Where are you reading this from?
This is my job online. Sorry, graphic online.
And this is the point we're raising with Jerome. But so that this is something very important.
Very.
But again, does it not raise a question about how successive governments have not paid attention to this?
Definitely. That one, I will not sit here and run away from the reality.
Right.
You get it.
Successive governments, including yours.
Yes. We that's why we make an example of this Kokobin Hospital, Forikrom. We're talking about the Siwa. They even started the Siwa issues and Kuafari and Ku. You get it. And we brought it up to almost an operational level. And then the Trader one. These are adjoining facilities that are there that we are saying, Mr. President, government, Minister of Health, operationalize them. Okay? It's about beds and equipment and others. In fact, some even have the beds. You get it? So just get the needed things and the personnel to go and then begin to operationalize it. Then we can get some of these patients there. My brother was making the assumption that, yes, once the president says we should go, Crosby, I gave you, when I started, I told you about my experience at Comfort.
Yeah.
You get it? People were lying there, motor accident, butchered, bleeding, lying 30 minutes, nobody attending to them. I was just in shock. I said, what's going on? And some were saying, oh, Honorable Pa, don't worry yourself. I'm telling you. Some were looking at this, Honorable, you are worried about this. I said, yes. Why? If it's been long, these guys were brought here. What's up? So they will attend to them, you leave them. They were lying there. And so you are saying, just take them. Hospital overwhelmed. No personnel, not sufficient equipment and other things to manage their situation. You leave them there to die or to do what? Because in the same analogy you are making, which is good, I agree with you. Take them elsewhere, they cannot afford it. Leave them here, nobody is attending to them. The resource, you get it? Because if, they are not there, families and others would strive to say, okay, let's try the other place and see. But once you leave them here, everybody thinks they are going to attend to them.
So
the situation is going to be worse.
If both approaches were not right,
yes,
the minister's
it's not appropriate at all to suspend
the minister's response is not good.
Said, and my brother was saying, he resorted to higher authorities to do what? At that time, this is the situation. Hospital, Crosby gave you the example. 37, we had 61, 40 on standby. And still, you said we should keep pushing.
We're getting messages from some people who work in emergency units.
Yes.
And they're telling us that when floors get full and people are lying on the floor, how do the nurses or the staff taking care of...
You even gave the clear situation.
Well,
what do you even
anyways,
step? You get it?
Yes.
And the example, let me finish. The example
Just
he
a
gave
minute so that you come in.
The example he gave with the free SHS, they don't match. You get it? It doesn't come. Look, Kwame Nkrumah started his free SHS at the trees. Okay? Professor D.D. Kupoli, former Vice Chancellor of UCC, a beneficiary.
Although the example...
Health issues are different.
Although they may be different, but it's still not good for students to study and that's established.
No. You see, the ideal situation should have... That's why we brought the double shifts and all those things. You get it?
Yes.
Aha.
It's okay.
Those are important.
Okay. Jeremy,
the health matters. You are lying there. You think a doctor is coming and nobody is coming. That is even worse.
Jeremy, you wanted to make a point.
So
we'll
please,
we'll have to do some other subjects. Yes.
Minister should get up and they should recall the
haven't you heard
and personalize
haven't you heard situations whereby health professionals in a commercial vehicle have tried to resuscitate people who needed help?
Of course.
Now you ask yourself, now you ask yourself that in that commercial vehicle, all right, in that commercial vehicle, was it an appropriate place to provide?
He's not getting the thing. Jerome.
Hold on.
Staff overwhelmed.
Please hold on.
I see.
He says we don't appreciate the thing.
It's okay. Let Jerome make his point.
You've stated your point. All right. You've stated your point.
Yes.
You've shared your experience.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You shared an experience at confirmation.
Yes.
I can share my experience. Okay. Look, if you could see my finger. All right. If you could see my finger, just about 3 weeks. Unfortunately, I got wounded by my own gate. All right. So the next morning, I rushed to Cocoa Clinic. Okay. I rushed to Cocoa Clinic for treatment.
Yeah.
When I rushed to Cocoa Clinic, because of the quality of services Cocoa Clinic is providing, the place was full. Okay. Ideally, because of the injections I should be given, I ought to have lied on the bed. There wasn't any bed. But I sat in a chair. They gave me the injections, other medications, and they got my wound treated. At the end of the day, if I had been driven away, that Jerome, we have no bed here, and as such, we cannot accommodate you. You are telling me to go with the pain that I was in as
I get it. I get it. You're making very sound points.
The pain that I was in as at that time. When I'm going to make it to
the
my
point you got there,
Mr. Isi, I'm coming. So
please.
What I was saying.
Hold on.
Yes, Jerome.
You see, he is telling me that at the time I go to Cocoa Clinic, they were not overwhelmed.
Yes.
But at the time that you go to Confanoche, you saw people lying on the floor.
Hold on.
That rendition of yours ought to be taken by Jerome, isn't it? I should take it.
Oh no! Let's not take that. Let's not do that argument.
Yes.
Hold on. I am giving an account of my personal experience.
True.
Yes.
You are telling me that mine is far from the truth because
That's not what I said.
they were not overwhelmed.
Yes, the hospital had not declared that they were overwhelmed.
Hold on.
But this one has declared.
Okay, so
they had not, because if they do, because Cocoa Clinic somewhat is a private hospital, they can make same to their management. All right? They can say same to their management and not necessarily to the public. They can say same to their management.
I get what you're saying.
All right?
I get what you're
and
saying.
me being part of management, I knew they were overwhelmed. I knew they were.
Management then.
Yes.
You were part of their staff.
I have been part of their management because by virtue of working at Cocoa Clinic.
I get what you're saying. But Jerome, how about this situation when you got there? Mr. Isom, I'm coming.
The point I'm making is, wait until you are faced with that challenge. Wait until you find
Mr.
yourself
AC, hold on.
in that situation. So the point that we are making is that, yes, in as much as we appreciate the situation, because it is not lost on us. Are you to say that I am oblivious about the fact that Konfanoche needs infrastructure, Konfanoche needs some equipment? I'm not oblivious of that. Never. But what I'm saying is that, in as much as I'm not oblivious about the various...
You haven't addressed the argument of adjoining hospitals being operationalized.
I put up the question to you, that the adjoining hospitals, were they named? Let's even assume they were named. Are these hospitals that if you are to refer somebody there, are they having the capacity same as Konfanoche?
Yes.
All right. Are they having
them?
no? You see, are they having same as Konfanoche? Two, is it affordable for those people who have been referred? All right, to be able to what? To be able to pay. To be able to pay.
So why is built to a regional hospital standard?
I am not saying it is not
Operational.
but we are talking about the instant case where these hospitals you are making reference to are not in operation.
So that's why he's saying that make them operational.
Making it operational, it will be operational.
That's better than suspending.
No, we are dealing with the instant case.
Yeah,
that is what we are dealing with.
But there's an underlying factor.
All right, that's what we are dealing with now.
The underlying factor is that
somebody has
is a matter of capacity.
Somebody has come to 3FM. Somebody has come to 3FM. The person is being chased by, some armed robbers. And you say that, the place is full. So the person can go to Unia FM. The person moving from 3FM to Unia FM, the person possibly might have lost his life or her life.
True.
So we squeeze, we accommodate the person, and then we find reason or solution thereafter. Okay, I am not in any way
I get it.
positing that we are not to operationalize certain hospitals which are near completion or have even been completed. That is not the bane of my argument. That is not what I'm saying.
You must also appreciate the CEOs.
But what I'm saying,
communicable and non-communicable diseases.
I get it. But I like what Mr. AC read about the finality, how finite resources are in these health facilities. I get the points that the both of you are making. Mr. AC is saying that the Mr. Akando's conduct leaves much to be desired. There are other facilities that should be operationalized. I get it. You also raise a very important point that human life is important. Regardless of the situation, find something to do about it. And I'm also saying that while the 2 points are very important, it is still very possible that the hospital or the facility had done everything it could. With the example you made at Koko Clinic, for instance, imagine you got there. Yes, you had to lie on the bed, but you sat in a chair. Imagine all the chairs there were full and all the floors were full. Then the hospital may be compelled to tell you to go somewhere else.
There were instances, I'm not making it up.
Okay.
There were instances, I saw people standing. There were instances.
And if all the places to stand are full, that way you don't think it can happen.
You see, you are stretching.
I understand you.
These are the realities that the CEO was confronted with.
I understand you.
I am not subjecting the CEO to condemnation. That is not what I'm doing.
I get it.
He said
I get you.
Resorted to superior.
That is administrative.
That is
He's clothed with the powers to decide.
We have to talk about other things.
That's administrative
I sit at
20
Cocoa
seconds.
Board. I sit at Cocoa Board to direct communications. All right, but I report directly to the chief executive. So whenever there is an issue in relation to cocoa matters, okay, in as much as I can even respond or whatever, it is administratively correct to even share with your CEO that chief.
No, but you're speaking for him, so he should be in the know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do you know the terms of reference, all right, or engagement with respect to the appointment of the chief executive of Konfanoche? He is not an authority to himself. And even in this case, do you know my chief executive? Hold on. Do you even know that my chief executive is subject to the directive that being given by the finance minister? Because that is the supervising minister.
Yes, but he's clothed with some powers to make certain decisions.
Nobody is saying that you are not clothed with the power. But what I'm saying
I get it.
But when you are making a very critical decision, all right, a very critical decision
to save the patients in the hospital.
There is nothing wrong.
If you listen to the statements from the hospital, the statement said the hospital's management has deemed it appropriate to temporarily curtail further admission. So it was not a decision that the CEO took arbitrarily.
Hey, but
Bota is a lecturer at the UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research, as well as an international relations analyst. Doc, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir. Hope you're good.
I'm well, thank you. This morning, it's good news that the third batch of Ghanaians have arrived. And now, although some people think that it is late, the South African president has now arrived at the party. He's condemning what is happening in South Africa. I'd like for you to hold on for a minute so that you take a listen to what he's saying, and then we can talk about it, dovetail the conversation nicely.
Thank you.
No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country to demand proof of identity. We know that South Africans are not xenophobic, as there is no space for xenophobia, for racism, for sexism, for Afrophobia, or any other form of intolerance in South Africa. As communities and as a society, we must not be tempted to join those who want us to turn against people who were not born in South Africa and who are in our midst. We will and must not allow groups to use the legitimate concerns of South Africans to destabilize our country through inciting lawlessness and violence.
And Dr. Bota, so that's President Cyril Ramaphosa there, raising two issues mainly, condemning what is happening in South Africa, but also denying what many people now think is the reality of South Africa. From where you sit, do you also think that he's living in a certain paradise that is not real?
That's a funny one there. I mean, good morning to our cherished listeners this morning, and I'm delighted to join you in helping create an understanding on these issues. Yes, quite frankly, even as we appreciate the efforts of the president in speaking at this time, in diplomatic parlance, we always think that it is better late than never. So he has done well, and I think this is what he should have actually done weeks ago. As to what constitutes the silence, it's for them to tell us. But whether now or if it were to be previous, the reality at hand is that we must establish the fact that South Africa's posture on this matter now constitutes both an impunity and a diplomatic escalation. And you would see the seeming hypocrisy and double standards of South Africa in, number one, the position of the president, which is completely different from the positioning of Ronald Ozzy, who is the foreign minister for South Africa. Now, when it comes to crafting foreign policy, the president is the number one actor. But the minister in charge of foreign affairs or international relations and cooperation, as they term him, is actually the number one diplomat of the country. So in matters of diplomatic and consular relations, we are looking at the posture of these two actors. And if they cannot operate in consensus and in consistency with themselves, then it means that there is a missing link in terms of what their foreign policy trajectory is on this matter. So then, I don't trust whatever the president is saying now on the basis of this analysis. What we expect to see is not words at this point. It must be clear action, and that is the way to go. Because, my brother, let us make this analysis. Look, I initially used the term impunity and diplomatic escalation because, you know what, South Africa have grossly, under the circumstances, violated their obligations under international law through a number of instruments. For example, if you look at the provisions of Article 5 of the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations of 1963, you will realize that the country have grossly betrayed their international obligation that enjoins them under compulsory means to actually protect citizens of other nationals or sending states in their country as a receiving state. That is just number one. Number two, you also come to the realization that even from the perspective of human rights, and here we must recognize that South Africa as a regional power and Ghana as one of the influential states in the African continent are both signatories of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And so critical articles like Article 6, 7, 9, and even Article 26, these articles actually talk or speak to, if you like it, the right to life, freedom from cruelty and inhumane or degrading treatment. This is what Article 7 says. Whatever that must have happened to Ghanaians and other African citizens there constitutes a flagrant abuse of these particular fundamental rights. And even so, Article 9 is critical on security of persons. Has South Africa guaranteed adequately the security of other foreign nationals there to whom they owe an international duty of care? Factually, no. So if all of these things have happened, and you look at the provisions of our international covenant on civil and political rights, which have been violated, then at this point we cannot be talking about mere rhetorics from presidents, and by the way, which is countered by threats from his own foreign minister. What we should be expecting is action. What is that action? The action that the law enjoins them, and the international law again, in fact, to begin, not absolute security, but reasonable security. So what are they doing for the rest of our nationals who are still in South Africa?
You have no call credits in your MTN account.
Unfortunately, we'll have to call Dr. Bota back, but this is still Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Stay with us. Gentlemen, if we're talking about the recent happenings, okay, I understand we've reconnected with Dr. Bota. Dr. Bota, sorry, we lost you at a point, but I'd like for you to wrap up on your point, then I would ask you one more question.
Yes, so under the circumstances, we need action. First of all, the president must be telling Ghana and other African nationals like Malawi, Zimbabweans who are also living, Nigerians and Ugandans, the exact security measures he is taking to guarantee that minimum international protection to our nationals who are still there. He should tell us the designated camps where these people must be protected or must be kept safe because they are no longer safe in their homes. You see, once he starts things like that, then he is walking the talk of diplomacy. Until then, this current posture should not entirely be accepted and should be treated diplomatically with a pinch of salt.
I see. And now the position of the government of Ghana through the Foreign Affairs Minister is that we are putting together a comprehensive legal process to pursue and then secure all financial compensation for citizens whose businesses and life savings were destroyed in the latest wave of the anti-immigrant violence in South Africa. If Ghana wants compensation, it should gather what evidence? Police reports, medical reports, videos, and all of those. And can we realistically take legal action against South Africa, or it's more of a diplomatic tool?
Okay, so clearly the matter is one that lies in the intersection of international relations and international law. So like I previously indicated, South Africa is not just any mere nation in the continent. It is actually about the leading regional power. And what that means is that it should be the country offering protection to other nationals even than any other country. So to the extent that South Africa have lost this, you see, or its inability to offer this, damages its moral authority. Now, that immediately creates a legal question. And that legal question must be answered in the face of three dimensions. One, have they been able to defend African citizenship? The answer is no. Have they defended human dignity and the international human rights law? No. And under the imputable principles of international obligation, is there state responsibility on South Africa and its inability to do this? Yes. So on the basis of this, there can be a prima facie case in international law to bring a course of action against them. Now, Ghana must therefore not exercise hostility if that is the way we want to go. But what Ghana can do is to frame our situation then as a defense to these deficiencies of South Africa. One, African citizenship, not just Ghanaian nationals. Two, human dignity against nationals of Ghana whose human rights have been abused. And then we impute that state responsibility is established. Why? Because what we are witnessing is hate violence from non-state actors. However, South Africa's refusal to act swiftly and promptly fails the standard of test of reasonability in international law. And under those circumstances, it can be concluded in law that the state has played a negligent role in avoiding the situation or preventing the situation from further escalation. And that is a condition in international law for state responsibility. By your act or omission, if things like this happens without reasonable care from you, state responsibility is automatically imputed under international law. Therefore, what Ghana needs is to, in our statement of claims, we just simply need to be able to prove a claim that Ghanaians and even other African nationals suffered, attacks or intimidation, or even the element of unlawful dispossession, which is happening because you see them vandalize people's shops, take their property, and so on and so forth. So if Ghana is able to do this, then what we need is to build our evidence-based claims using video evidences, number one, using, reported speeches by victims, number two, and then most importantly, medical, verifications or medical reports of those who had at least some first aid, either from medical facilities or from humanitarian agencies like the Red Cross International. This will constitute the factual evidential basis upon which a course of action can be made. And if our claims are built on faith, it will be difficult for South Africa to win the case. And this is what I expected the Minister for International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa to have known before actually literally threatening Ghana,
right, and
telling us we are exaggerating the matter rather than just evacuating citizens. That was, in the greatest respect, very undiplomatic from a seasoned lawyer who has been a minister of justice and who understands these things I am actually, talking about. So clearly, Ghana has a case.
Right.
In as much as, and I must add, that legally and diplomatically we have a strong case, we must present this case through, first of all, the African Union diplomatic mechanisms. And once we are able to do that, then we are also sending signal of our reasonability and adherence to, equity, which is a fundamental requirement when dealing with these things. The reason is because Ghana must be able to legally navigate this situation, making all the maneuverings without being hostile to the diplomatic relations we share with South Africa.
Okay.
That is what it should be.
Doc, thank you. But if you can say this in 20 seconds, there are concerns about the levels of how do you call it, enforceability of international law. That because it may not be binding on states, then it means South Africa may just be sanctioned in a way that does not touch its core. Briefly.
Well, it is actually wrong to think that international law is not obligatory on states. It is actually fundamentally obligatory and binding on states. The problem we have in international law is enforcement. However,
exactly.
If Ghana makes a claim before an international arbitration or an international court of justice and wins in our course of action, and there are problems of enforceability, it is still victory for us, because if South Africa refuses to comply by way of enforcement, but it leaves a diplomatic strain on their country. You see, the matter we are talking about is an issue that has implications for global peace and security. Imagine, and I don't advise that at all, imagine if Ghana wasn't legally disciplined and started retaliatory attacks on South Africa. It was now going to be a different story, and it will affect the entire African continent. So that diplomatic strain that will be on South Africa has implications for them in their global interactions with other entities within the multilateral system, in trade, industry, diplomacy, peace and security, etc. And I don't think South Africa wants that, especially at the time they are one of the fundamental pillars of BRICS.
Right.
So these are actually very technical issues. But Ghana must proceed as the foreign minister has indicated with the legality of the matter, except that we should just be diplomatically hard but legally disciplined. And the evacuation of our nationals, especially vulnerable ones, must continue. And if the airspace challenge is still happening with a sabotage of our aircraft landing, then we can use a third-party country to fly our citizens. That is an option available to the president and Ghana as a state.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elvis Botta, lecturer, UPSA Center for Peace and Security Research. We're very grateful for your time with us on the program.
Most grateful.
And gentlemen, so that's Dr. Botta, an international relations analyst, also a lecturer in peace and security, talking to us about the latest happenings in South Africa. I don't know whether it came as a surprise to you, the comment from Ramaphosa that it was surprising.
I was asking, was he asleep? Didn't he know what was going on in his own country? You get it? And the whispers across international corridors, especially Nigeria and Ghana, say we should rise up against his company. You get it?
He still says they are not xenophobic.
That's surprising. The conduct, people attacking he himself admitted it was wrong for people to attack people on the streets and then demand. I was surprised that he says he's not xenophobic. South Africa is not xenophobic. This is about a thief or so time that issues of this nature is come up. Okay, and now he's decided to speak, and this is what he's saying.
You think he better have not spoken?
Mr. President, it's good you spoke, as the diplomat said.
Right.
Better late than never. But what he said, there are more questions than
answers.
It doesn't even tell me he's really committed to the suffering of the other citizens in his country.
But now we've brought our own in Ghana, and we're treating them well, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's
good. You see, but before, I'll continue, but somebody sent me a message that my brother's treatment at Kuku Clinic, I spoke about communicable diseases and those things. He says his father, COVID, was asked to leave. You get it, because the place was congested. But people who had wounds were being treated when they came. Okay. So his case was smaller. They could have attended.
South Africa.
Oh no, it's good. I'm happy. The foreign minister and government have decided to go in there and support our people. That's the right and appropriate thing to do. All governments have been taking those steps. And two, when they went, I think about a third batch is now now in, and it's good. And government has been talking nice politically and diplomatically about the fate of those returnees. And I pray that is actually translated into actuals of getting them those opportunities that they missed back in SA by their evacuation. So it's good. I pray government goes further to. I heard somewhere the Honorable Foreign Minister saying, so far I think 200 people have been gotten, some 100 of them directly from Ibrahim Mohammed's companies and co. That's a good one. I think we need to do everything to make them settle. One thing is, Noble.
Yes, sir.
When people travel out and for whatever reason they come back, not on their own volition, they don't think of any other thing but to go back.
Yeah.
That's what they do, all of them. All of them. If you see somebody who is gone out and was brought back, not on his decision, he doesn't do anything else. The next avenue to go back is all he does. About. And some will be struggling till, they don't get the opportunity and life becomes something. You get it? But once government is taking steps to settle them properly, I think then they will refocus and say, okay, now we've gotten something doing, even though it may not be like what we're doing in SA, you get it? But the security and protection at home is better. The peace of mind is better. And we encourage government to do that for our brothers and sisters who have returned home. Most of them are people who have their artisans, right? Handicrafts and co.
They have skills.
Yes, skills and co. Let's set them up, you get it? And be able to make ends meet here and decide to stay home. Not to be eager to go back to SA for whatever reason. I think we need, and Cyril Ramaphosa, I think he has to officially apologize to African Union. He has to officially. I heard Julius Malema. I was happy with. He asked a question. I said, President Mahama has come to take the first, I think the first, but 300 people. Those 300 people who have left, have you created 300 jobs for South Africans? That was a legitimate question he was asking them. You get it? And he is a Pan-Africanist. So he thinks what they were doing is inappropriate. That the president must rise up to the occasion. He's been asleep for too long.
Right. Jerome, they have come. We have close to 1,000 now. I'm sure can they rest assured that government will take care of them? They'll find jobs and they'll be fine and live happily ever after in Ghana.
You see, I think the government deserves some applause.
True.
All right? I mean, for what they've done. I mean, other African countries, we've heard what Nigeria has said in relation to the evacuation of, his citizens. And we've also seen the way and manner other countries have also gone by, using cars or buses and all that. But we decided to go by a plane and all that. That signals that we are much concerned about the livelihood and the well-being of our people. So I think that on the basis of that, the president and government deserve to be commended for that. At a point, I felt like I ought to have belonged to this troop, all right? Because coming from South Africa and receiving some stipends and other goodies and all that, people have been here. You can liken it to what happened in the Bible. The prodigal son goes and then comes back and then he receives the goodies and all that. But I think these are all part of the process to make them settle and fine-tune in the system that is being built now as a country. I find the comments by especially the international relations minister of South Africa very absurd, nauseating, and it makes no sense. All right, at least if I cannot refer to His Excellency Ramaphosa as not making meaning. I think this one I can use all the adjective appropriate enough to qualify him, because it doesn't make sense for you to come out as an international relations minister to openly say what he said. Then if you are to say that then what it clearly means is that you support whatever that is going on. You support same. And I don't know how many big companies or investments that Ghanaians have in South Africa as compared to what they have
in Ghana.
All right, as compared to what they have in Ghana. And we are providing security and everything for your investment here as compared to even the taxes you give us. So if we are to wake tomorrow and we besiege the premises of these identifiable organizations and we drive you people away, I mean, what's going to happen? You're going to lose billions of dollars. You're going to lose billions of dollars. So sometimes it is important for us to tell our people that, hey, we are messing up. We need not to engage in certain. And this has become a ritual that they do quite often. It's become a ritual.
Yeah.
And nobody has stood up to them. So they think that we can do and then get away with it. But if we begin to also touch them here, I think they will reason. If you begin to touch them here, they will reason. And
there's a senator in Nigeria who is called.
When you say touch them, how do you mean?
Touch their shoulders.
I'm not here to demystify that, but I think that you see, no, but why should you deliberately hurt me and go scot-free? Deliberately, you want to hurt me, and then you go scot-free. But I think that in our nature as Ghanaians, it is only a Ghanaian that an armed robber or a thief will come and steal from him, and when the thief is being caught and being beaten, the same person will go and say, "Oh, leave him." You see, that's our nature. That's the Ghanaian for you. You get it? That's the Ghanaian for you. So on the basis of that, people sometimes take us for a ride. I think that going forward, we need to up our game and exhibit people that, hey, the fact that we are gentle, the fact that we are accommodating, the fact that we are humane and all that does not mean that you can do whatever that you want and then go scot-free. Look, I decided to do some readings in respect of the contributions both countries have lent to each other, and I think ours surpasses that of South Africa, because at a point I think we even offered the Ghanaian passport. All right, we even offered Ghanaian passport to this ANC people.
Yes, we did.
Apartheid bridge.
Yeah, this
during
ANC
apartheid,
people,
South Africa was Ghana. We've offered financial and military aid. We've done a lot.
As Rollins said it. I watched the Rollins video where he said they had to gather $1 million for Nelson Mandela when they were going to.
We've done a lot for them to engage in this silly acts that they are meting out to Ghanaians. I think Ghana should have been the last country for which they will met out this heinous or this attacks on. But hey, we are having a diplomat as a president. All right, a very fine gentleman who, even in the midst of absurdity of a sort, he knows how to go about it. So we leave it in the hands of the president. He being the lead, whatever that he deemed fit as a leader, we go with it. But if I were to be in that position, maybe I would have been a bit radical.
That will touch them small.
I would have been a bit radical.
We touch them small, but you will not demystify it. But you spoke about, we have to go though, gentlemen, but you spoke about how Mr. Mahama is a good leader and all. What is happening to the NDC? Who is leading after Mahama? It's been a lot of noise. What is happening?
Who is leading after Mahama?
Yes.
A Ghanaian will lead.
I mean, somebody from the NDC.
Yes, a Ghanaian.
So why
so a Ghanaian who is qualified under the laws to be a voter and to be voted for will lead.
So where is this finance ministry?
What is the basic
ministry
qualification stated in the Constitution to become a president?
Sound mind, 40 years plus, those things.
Being a Ghanaian, being a registered voter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so somebody with that qualities will lead.
It appears there's a lot of here and there.
These are hearsay.
They are?
And hearsay evidence are inadmissible.
In court.
Yeah. Video evidence is hearsay. Video evidence is hearsay.
What
They're spraying mosquito with.
Haruna Idrisu was speaking there, talking about the thank you
Talked
to.
about what? Whose name was mentioned? Talked about what? No, just tell me.
I could see him.
No, Jaron wants specific. He wants. He didn't mention the name of this person. He did not mention anybody's
You
name.
don't need the name.
You get it? You don't mention it.
But you can infer, can't you?
infer from what?
Okay.
Thank you.
And when
How
you
many
make-
thank you tours are we having?
But do you know how many thank you to the presidents even aside?
We have para thank you tours.
do-
We say one is official, the other one, yeah.
But we as regional executive, we've had thank you to.
Okay. But do you
mosquitoes like that.
have keep fit exercises too and all of that? Regional executives.
But as and when. But we have we have young groups that we go on keep fit and
So
all
you
that.
also do exercises there.
I've been exercising.
uh,
I've been exercising and
like
and,
walks, like the Julius walk, that kind of.
Oh, but I find
Speak to the
myself.
issue and
No,
stop
I
the
find
pretense.
myself. All right. Where Julius is. No, like his area. So if he's going for a key fit,
It's
You
a,
follow.
it's
No.
a specification for me, his area, not the other one.
no. So if he's going for key fit, and maybe I so decide
You're free.
to join. All right. It is not of maybe certain ambition, or in fact,
makes
he has
sense,
not
makes
even come to share any ambition with me.
Or anybody else at all.
Anybody else.
There's nothing public.
You understand?
Nobody has come to communicate anything that.
So what it is?
So much ado about nothing, eh? Mr. Isi, the MPP, you have gone through your phase. So now you are fine.
We're
Remaining
cool. We're
the chairman.
I did that.
No, there's still another big one coming. But
I did that.
at least
Oh, no,
for.
these ones are what?
Which ones?
So do you have a word of advice for the NDC?
Oh, they. You see,
Oh, you say
there's
the
a lot
amount
of
What you
a lot
question,
of
the question
suspicions
you've asked,
and mistrust
the question
and
you've
co.
asked in here,
Yeah.
you see, it's like telling somebody who sells apetishi to go and advise someone who's going to purchase apetishi. Advise somebody. So how
Talk
can
to
a-
them. You have experience. Talk to
how
them.
can a Biaba operative advise a drunkard?
We've been through the phase and we've come back together. But the issue, there's a little suspicion, mistrust, and co. Maybe what General Mosquito said somewhere about what he did to ensure that certain leadership was removed, and then, and then the response from the education minister, spraying mosquito and killing mosquitoes and co. And then the other aspect, don't worry. The other aspect.
Well, we don't understand. You have to explain it so that we
I'll explain,
understand.
don't worry.
Anyway,
then
there's nobody by name Mosquito. Is there anybody by
Oh
name?
yeah, there's a mosquito in Ghana. General Mosquito. Your chairman, your party chairman.
But who bears the official name of Mosquito?
It's not on his Ghana card.
Everybody
Is
knows.
it-
It's not on his Ghana
That's
card.
not the person.
But he himself admits it. The only chairman mosquito.
Anyways.
Yeah, and then the issue of the finance minister, the agri minister, mistrust, release of funds, and all that, because all of them are eyeing the question you raised: who takes over from these?
Maybe it's his
You
we
get
sitting
it.
at the back who is reading meanings and nothing is happening.
No, deputy minister speaking. Did you see the agri minister, the way he was looking at the man? If he were close to him, he would have given him a knockout.
What did you say?
You get it.
what did
So please, we entreat the NDC to take it easy. They are in power. They should focus on the president's vision for now. And when the ban is lifted,
Right.
and they are given the free way to go and campaign, they do it. For now, they are damaging the government more than doing good to the Ghanaian people.
See,
Who knows?
Good advice.
If the time is due, maybe I may contest as flag bearer.
Of course, you are not 40.
Presidente.
You can't contest. You are not 40.
Gentlemen, thank you.
You are telling me.
Thank you so much for spending the morning with us.
Africa unite. 'Cause we're moving.